Hey everybody, welcome back to another Black Ninja 797 Myth-Busting Mondays episode. I hope you're all doing well. If you're wondering who I am, it's me, Dr. Zed. I am in standing today for John as he is currently out on a trip right now and won't be back till till Monday, if I remember correctly. But anyways, for the final myth today, will a chapter replay in versus mode if the tiebreaker is a tie? Without further ado, let's get right into the episode. So for the first myth today, it is going to be, can hunters pounce at you in air vents, but jockeys can't? Hey guys, post-editing me here. I, being dumbass that I am, misread myth 1 as, can the hunters pounce at you in air vents just like the jockey? When it was supposed to be read as, can hunters pounce at you in air vents, but jockeys can't? So, post-editing me, past me is a dumbass, and during this next little bit, you're going to see a dual recording showing off this myth in full, the way it was intended. So, yeah, let's get back into the episode, and let past me, take care of the rest of this. Now, from the recording that you're going to see, I'm going to have two videos showing. One of the hunter, one of the jockey. And both of them are going to be going into the air vents on Chapter 2 of Dark Carnival. Now, for the mood here, I set everything to full bright just so that you can see what I'm seeing. Otherwise, it'd be way too fucking dark. Now, we're coming up on Nick here, and as you can see, the hunter gets him just fine, and then the jockey also gets him just fine. But the hunter, or I should say the jockey, for example, can't move, but can still pounce him. So this myth is busted. Let's move on to the next myth. So for the second myth here today, the myth is, can you find Virgil's boat off in the distance in the parish finale? Now, for simplicity reasons, I kicked all the bots and put myself in no-clip for simplicity reasons. Now, you'll see me no-clipping around the map. I'm probably going to end up speeding this up in post, but as you can see, there is no boats as of right now, even sped up. I inspected every inch of the map. No matter where I went, it was just all water and then maybe a few broken paddle boats here and there. But as you can see, there is no boats. All that you'll see is the finale helicopter, and that's it, and maybe a few buses here and there, but you won't see Virgil's boat no matter how far you go. As nice as it would be, you won't see it. I inspected every inch of this map. And no matter how far I went, no matter the distance, there is no boat. Virgil does not exist. I'm sorry, he just does not exist. He's non-existent in this map. So the myth here is busted. Let's move on to the next one. But for the next myth here today, the myth is, does Coach fall at the same speed as the Bloomer? Now, you'll see in the upcoming video that I'm going to be doing two sets of tests here. One in ghost mode and then one when I'm spawned in. And you'll see here, even in slow motion, because I wanted to try and get the timings down as best as possible, from setting coach or spawning coach on top of me and then taking myself out of no clip. You'll see that even when I get the timings as close as possible, coach is falling ever so faster, even when I get myself taken out of no clip. Even when I'm in ghost mode, he'll still fall just that little bit faster than me. And then in the next part of the video that you'll see here, even when I'm spawned in, coach is still falling just ever so slightly faster than me, even when I'm spawned in, no matter how close to timings I got it. So the myth, does coach fall at the same speed as the Boomer, is actually busted. He falls faster than the Boomer. At least all the survivors do. So myth busted. Let's move on to the next myth. So for the next myth, it is, if you fire at an alarmed car and there is an incapacitated survivor, will the infected target the incapacitated survivor? Now, from the testing that I did, I really wanted to say that this was inconclusive, but I'm going to put it out here. I'm labeling it as plausible, and let me tell you why. I did 3-ish sets of tests, and the first test was having Ellis being the down survivor right next to the car, right on top of it, pretty much, and me being in the back far corner of the lot, of the car alarm lot, and me shooting it with like a hunting rifle and just re-enabling the director and then letting the zombies pour in. And for this first test that's coming up right now, you'll actually see that it's about 50-50-ish, I would say, for how split the commons are between me and Ellis. And then the next set of tests that you'll see is me and Ellis both being very far away from the car, him being down on the other complete side of the lot, and then me being in the complete other opposite corner of the lot and shooting the car that is in the middle of us pretty much, and seeing how that works. And I did 2 tests of that as well. And the first one was really weird. It was, for the most part, kind of 50-50, just like the first test. But then the next test I did, they all came to me. And I even did another test after that just to make sure that it wasn't a fluke. And they all came to me again. So the myth here today is plausible. I can't honestly tell if they will target the incapacitated survivor. I think it's just based on the range they are in, the infected, but the myth is plausible. So let's move on to the final myth and see if it is confirmed, busted, or plausible. So for the last myth stated at the beginning of this video, will a chapter replay in versus mode if the tiebreaker is a tie? Now, I made this as simple as possible. I put it in versus training as the hunter and let the bots do the thing and spit up the game, just to make this as fast as possible. And I'll let the bots play through the first chapter just as normal, without killing anything, without doing anything, just getting to the end of the chapter to let it end. Now, I got to do the exact same thing in order to introduce the tiebreaker. Now, as you'll see at the end of this first test, I get a tie, just as predicted. And you'll see that the tiebreaker ends in a 0-0 because I never dealt damage to the survivors, and the survivors never dealt damage to me, as I turned off the director for both of these. And you'll see here that the chapter doesn't restart, and that made me really confused. So I did 2 more sets, letting the AI survivors run through the map while I'm in spawn mode as the infected, and then me doing the exact same thing 2 more times. And every time it ended, as you can see, in a tie, and the chapter never restarted. And I made sure I'm not doing any cuts here. You can see that the chapter progresses onto the next chapter. And I was really hoping that there'd be like a hidden mechanic, if the tiebreaker itself is a tie, and, the chapter would restart, forcing everybody to redo it again. But sadly, the myth is busted, as much as I would hope that it would be confirmed. But yeah, guys, that is the final myth. If the chapter will replay in versus mode if the tiebreaker is a tie, being busted. As much as I wanted it to be confirmed, it's not. So yeah, guys, that has been it here for today's video. If you enjoyed, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as it does help out a ton. There are 2 quick things I would like to point out. John does have a secondary YouTube channel called BlackNinja797 Extras down in the description of this video, where he used to do challenge accepted playthroughs, walkthroughs, and funny moments with friends, and all that other beautiful stuff. And the secondary thing I'd like to point out is that he does have a supporter creator code with Epic Games themselves, that is as it is his first sponsor. It is called BlackNinja797 in all caps, which you can use in the Epic and Fortnite games item shops. Please do use it, as it helps him out a ton. I've been your host, Dan and Dr. Zed. Keep it easy, y'all.
Hey, meme lords, Jesus here, and you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too, or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too. And give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!